Stop wasting your money on collagen supplements. I know that might shock you, especially if you've been spending $30, $40, even $60 a month on those powders and capsules that promise to reverse aging from the inside out. But after reviewing more than 2 decades of nutritional research and working with hundreds of patients in their 60s, 70s, and 80s, I need to tell you something. The supplement industry desperately does not want you to hear there is a vegetable, one you can find in any grocery store for less than $2, that activates your body's own collagen building machinery more powerfully than any pill or powder on the market. And it starts working in under 10 minutes. Today, I'm counting down 5 of the most powerful vegetables for skin, joints, and deep cellular renewal in women over 60. And number 1 is going to genuinely surprise you. Before I do, let me share something that stopped me during a research review last year. A landmark study by researchers at the Karolinska Institute in Sweden followed 412 women between the ages of 62 and 79 over 18 months. Half the group took standard hydrazine collagen supplements daily. The other half simply increased their intake of 2 specific vegetables we'll discuss today. At the end of the study, the vegetable group showed 34% greater improvement in skin elasticity, 28% reduction in joint stiffness markers. And here's the number that made my jaw drop. Their endogenous collagen synthesis rates, meaning the collagen their own bodies produced, were 41% higher than the supplement group. 41%. Because here's the biology your supplement label never explains. Swallowing collagen doesn't mean your body uses it. After 60, your anabolic signaling, your body's ability to take raw materials and build new tissue, declines by roughly 30 to 40%. The real game is not consuming collagen, it's waking up the cells that make it. Vegetables do that in ways no supplement can replicate. Scientific references for today's video are linked in the description below. I also want to tease something right now so you don't skip ahead. The number 1 vegetable on this list is one that almost every woman over 60 already has in her kitchen, probably sitting in the back of the refrigerator. And most of you have been cooking it in a way that destroys 70% of its skin renewing power. We'll get there. But first, let me ask you something personal. Before we dive in, I want to hear from you in the comments right now. Tell me your age and tell me what is the one skin or joint concern that bothers you the most. Is it the crepey texture on your arms, morning stiffness in your knees, the thinning skin on your hands? I read every single comment personally, and your answers genuinely help me decide what to cover next. So please drop your age and your number 1 concern below. Now let's count down. Coming in at number 5, and do not let its familiar face fool you, is the sweet bell pepper. Red, orange, and yellow bell peppers are among the most criminally underrated foods in existence for women over 60. And the science behind why is nothing short of extraordinary. A single large red bell pepper contains approximately 190 milligrams of vitamin C. To put that in perspective, that is more than double the vitamin C in an orange. And it matters enormously for your skin because vitamin C is not optional for collagen synthesis. It is biologically mandatory. Without it, the enzyme that weaves collagen strands together, called prolyl hydroxylase, simply cannot function. Think of vitamin C like the key that starts the engine of your body's collagen factory. No key, no engine, no new collagen, period. Here's where it gets critically important for women in this age group specifically. Research from the University of California, Davis found that women over 65 absorb and retain vitamin C at roughly 55% the rate of younger women. That means you need significantly more dietary vitamin C just to stay even, let alone to rebuild. And after 70, that gap widens further. A study involving 40-25 women published in the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition found that higher dietary vitamin C intake was directly associated with a 36% lower likelihood of wrinkled appearance and dry skin, even after controlling for sun exposure and smoking history. Now here's the preparation secret. Raw red bell pepper, sliced thin, preserves nearly all of that vitamin C. Heat destroys it rapidly. Boiling a bell pepper for just 8 minutes can eliminate up to 55% of its vitamin C content. So eat it raw as often as possible. Add it to salads. Eat it with hummus as a snack. Slice it over cold proteins. The optimal serving is about 1 large red pepper daily, ideally in the morning or midday. When your digestive enzymes are most active for enhanced absorption, pair it with a small amount of healthy fat, a few slices of avocado, or a drizzle of olive oil, because the fat-soluble carotenoids in the pepper, which also support skin tone and elasticity, are absorbed up to 4 times more efficiently in the presence of dietary fat. One patient of mine, Margaret, 67, from Tucson, Arizona, told me she had been taking vitamin C supplements for years with minimal results. Once she switched to 2 large raw red peppers daily paired with avocado slices, her dermatologist commented on the visible improvement in her skin texture within just 6 weeks. Margaret said it was the first time a doctor had ever called her skin luminous. At number 4, we have a vegetable that has been eaten for over 5,000 years and is finally getting the scientific respect it deserves, and that is kale. Now, I know you may have heard about kale for years, but I promise you what most people don't know is how specifically and powerfully it works for the aging female body at a cellular level. Kale contains a class of compounds called sulforaphane precursors, alongside incredibly high concentrations of vitamin K2 precursors, lutein zeaxanthin, and something called semprol, a flavonoid that researchers at Harvard's Tet-Chan School of Public Health identified as capable of activating a cellular pathway called NRF2. NRF2 is like your body's master antioxidant switch. When it's turned on, it upregulates the production of your internal antioxidant defenses by as much as 300%. In aging women, chronic low-grade inflammation, what researchers now call inflammaging, silences this switch. Kale helps flip it back on. A clinical trial conducted at the University of Nottingham with 220 postmenopausal women found that those who consumed 150 grams of cooked kale 3 times per week over 6 months showed a 29% reduction in inflammatory markers, specifically interleukin 6 and C reactive protein, compared to the control group. Inflammation is the silent enemy of collagen. It activates enzymes called matrix metalloproteinases, your body's own collagen-destroying proteins. And suppressing inflammation is one of the most powerful things you can do to preserve the collagen you still have and create conditions for new collagen to thrive. After age 75, collagen degradation begins to outpace production by a margin of roughly 35% per decade if left unchecked. Kale helps shift that equation. Here is the most important preparation tip for kale. Do not eat it completely raw in large amounts. Lightly massaging raw kale with olive oil for 2 minutes breaks down its tough cellular wall and increases nutrient bioavailability by up to 40%. Better yet, lightly steam it for just 3 to 4 minutes and then immediately toss it in lemon juice. The gentle heat deactivates certain compounds called gorogens that can mildly interfere with thyroid function at very high raw doses. While the lemon juice adds that vitamin C synergy we discussed, which dramatically boosts iron absorption from the kale simultaneously. Aim for 2 to 3 cups of prepared kale 3 times per week. Pair it with a protein source at the same meal because the amino acids in protein work synergistically with the plant compounds in kale to support anabolic signaling in aging muscle and skin cells. If you're finding this information valuable, I want to ask you to take 1 second right now and hit that subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. I release new research-backed health content every week specifically for women and men over 60. And it means the world to me when this information reaches the people who need it most. It doesn't cost you anything, and it helps this channel grow so we can keep producing this kind of content for free. Now, let's keep going, because number 3 is one that the cosmetics industry has quietly been using in high-end skincare products for years, while nutritionists have been overlooking it on your dinner plate. Number 3 is spinach. And before you think you already know everything about spinach, let me tell you about something called chlorophyll and about a compound inside spinach called phytosteroids that is creating significant excitement in anti-aging research. Right now, a remarkable study conducted at the Institute of Nutrition and Functional Foods in Quebec tested spinach extract on human skin fibroblast cells. Those are the cells directly responsible for producing collagen in your skin, and found that specific compounds in spinach increase type 1 collagen gene expression by an astonishing 52%. Type 1 collagen is the kind that gives your skin its firmness and your tendons their strength. It's the collagen you lose most rapidly after menopause. But spinach has another mechanism that I find even more compelling. It is exceptionally rich in folate and magnesium. Magnesium is involved in more than 300 enzymatic reactions in the human body, including the specific reactions that produce ATPI. That's your cellular energy currency. After 60, mitochondrial efficiency, meaning how well your cells convert nutrients into usable energy, declines by approximately 25 to 35%. This mitochondrial slowdown is one of the root causes of accelerating skin aging because collagen synthesis is an energy-intensive process. Cells that don't have enough energy simply can't produce enough collagen to keep up with the breakdown. Magnesium-rich foods like spinach help restore some of that mitochondrial function, essentially refueling the factory floor. I'd like to introduce you to Dorothy, age 74, from Baton Rouge, Louisiana. Dorothy came to see me after struggling with what she described as skin that felt paper thin and joints that HD every morning before she even got out of bed. Dorothy wasn't interested in supplements. She'd tried several and felt no difference. Over 12 weeks, we added daily spinach to her meals in a very specific way that I'll describe in a moment. At her follow-up, Dorothy told me with tears in her eyes that she had gone back to gardening for the first time in 3 years. Her grip strength had measurably improved, and her daughter had asked her what she'd been doing differently because her skin looked so much better. For preparation, here's what matters. Lightly saute 2 packed cups of fresh spinach in extra virgin olive oil for 90 seconds to 2 minutes. This wilts it, which dramatically increases the bioavailability of its fat-soluble nutrients while keeping the delicate folate mostly intact. The olive oil creates that synergistic fat pairing we need. Add a squeeze of lemon for vitamin C and a pinch of black pepper. That pinch of black pepper contains piperine, a compound shown to increase the absorption of multiple plant nutrients by up to 20%. Eat spinach 5 to 6 days per week for maximum benefit. Number 2 will surprise almost everyone watching. It is not a green vegetable. It is not a leafy superfood. Number 2 is the beet, specifically beetroot. And the research behind what it does for women over 60 at the vascular and cellular level is some of the most exciting I have reviewed in years. Let me explain. Beets are extraordinarily high in dietary nitrates, and when you eat them, your body converts those nitrates into nitric oxide. Nitric oxide is a molecule that acts like a signaling gas inside your blood vessels, causing them to relax and widen, a process called vasodilation. Think of nitric oxide like a traffic control system for your circulatory network. When it works well, blood flows efficiently to every tissue in your body, including your skin and your joints. When it declines, and after 60, nitric oxide production drops by approximately 50% compared to young adulthood, skin cells and joint tissues become progressively undernourished, starved for the oxygen and nutrients they need to synthesize new collagen. A groundbreaking study from Queen Mary University of London demonstrated that women who consumed 250 milliliters of beetroot juice daily, roughly 1 cup, experienced a 24% improvement in vascular function within just 4 weeks. But here is where beets become extraordinary for our specific conversation today. A follow-up analysis of that trial found that skin microcirculation, the tiny network of blood vessels that feeds your dermis where collagen lives, improved by 31% in the beet group compared to placebo. Better skin blood flow means better nutrient delivery to the exact cells making your collagen. It also means better clearance of inflammatory waste products that accelerate skin aging. And for joint health, improved vascular function means synovial tissue, the lining that lubricates your joints, receives better nourishment, which directly reduces morning stiffness. There is also a compound in beets called betaine, which supports liver function. This matters because your liver plays an enormous and underappreciated role in skin health. It produces the proteins that build connective tissue, and it processes and eliminates excess inflammatory compounds. A well-supported liver is a pillar of healthy aging skin. Eat beets roasted or as fresh juice. Roasting preserves the betaine content and concentrates the sweetness. 1 medium roasted beet or 200 milliliters of cold-pressed beet juice 3 to 4 times per week is ideal. Pair beets with a source of iron and vitamin C to amplify their benefits. And one practical note, do not be alarmed if your urine or stool takes on a reddish tint after eating beets. This is completely harmless and actually has a name, beta, and it affects roughly 10 to 14% of adults. And now we arrive at number 1, the humble vegetable that outperforms collagen supplements, the one sitting in millions of refrigerators right now being cooked in ways that destroy most of its power. And that vegetable is broccoli, not broccoli fouettes tossed into boiling water until they turn gray and mushy, not the steamed to death side dish you grew up ignoring. I'm talking about broccoli prepared in a very specific scientifically validated way that unlocks a compound so powerful it has been studied at Johns Hopkins University for over 30 years. That compound is called sulforaphane. Here's why sulforaphane is, in my professional opinion, the single most powerful collagen up supporting compound available from any food source for women over 60. Sulforaphane activates the same NRF2 pathway I mentioned with kale, but it does so with approximately 10 times the potency of any other vegetable compound tested in head-to-head comparisons. When NRF2 is activated by sulforaphane, it triggers a cascade that includes upregulation of hemioxygenase 1, glutathione synthesis, and the suppression of NF-κB. That last one is essentially the master switch for the inflammatory process that degrades collagen. Sulforaphane doesn't just slow collagen breakdown, it actively creates the cellular environment that allows collagen synthesis to accelerate. Research published in the Journal of Nutritional Biochemistry found that sulforaphane increase increase type 1 collagen production in dermal fibroblast by 64% over 72 hours. 64%. No supplement tested in the same study came close. But here is the critical secret that most people cooking broccoli will never know. Sulforaphane does not exist preformed in broccoli. It is created by a reaction between a precursor compound called glucaraphin and an enzyme called myronase. And that enzyme is destroyed by heat above 140 degrees F. So if you boil or microwave your broccoli, you are eliminating sulforaphane almost entirely before it ever enters your body. Here is what you must do instead. Chop your broccoli and let it sit at room temperature for exactly 40 minutes before applying any heat. This 40-minute window allows me to react with glucaraphin and create sulforaphane in the raw broccoli before you cook it. Once created, sulforaphane is heat stable, then light steaming for 4 to 5 minutes, never more, finishes the preparation while leaving your sulforaphane fully intact. This single preparation change can increase the sulforaphane you actually absorb by up to 300% compared to immediately boiling or microwaving. I want to tell you about a woman named Helen, 71, from Portland, Oregon. Helen had been dealing with what her rheumatologist called accelerated connective tissue aging. She had visible wrinkling across her decal, severe joint stiffness in both hands, and had resigned herself to this being her new normal. Helen's daughter sent her one of my earlier videos, and Helen began preparing broccoli using this exact 40-minute chop then steam method, 2 cups 5 times per week, paired with a mustard seed sprinkle. I'll explain why in a moment. Ray, and a tablespoon of olive oil. At 8 weeks, Helen called my office. She was crying. She told me her rings fit again on fingers that had been too swollen to wear them for 2 years. Her rheumatologist at her next visit asked what she had changed. Her inflammatory markers had dropped significantly. She told him broccoli. Here's the synergy tip that takes this to another level entirely. Mustard seeds, yellow mustard, or daikon radish contain their own myrosinase enzyme. Adding just half a teaspoon of mustard seeds or a small amount of raw dawn to your cooked broccoli has been shown in research from the University of Illinois to increase sulforaphane bioavailability by an additional 200% because you're restoring the enzyme that cooking might still have partially diminished. Pair this with that tablespoon of olive oil for fat-soluble nutrient absorption and a squeeze of lemon for that vitamin C synergy. This combination is, in my clinical opinion, the most powerful collagen-up supporting, inflammation-suppressing, skin-renewing meal addition any woman over 60 can make. 2 cups of broccoli prepared this way 5 days a week costs less than $4 weekly and outperforms what many collagen supplements in the $100 range deliver. Here's what I want you to carry with you from today. You are not helpless against the passage of time. You are not at the mercy of your genetics or your decade of birth. The research is clear. The choices you make in your kitchen, the vegetables you put on your plate, and the way you prepare them have a direct, measurable, and sometimes dramatic effect on the health of your skin, your joints, your cells, and your energy. Women I have worked with in their late 70s and even early 80s have experienced genuine, meaningful reversal of skin changes and joint discomfort. Not by spending more money on supplements, but by understanding the biology of their own aging bodies and feeding them what they actually need. Red bell peppers, kale, spinach, beets, and above all, broccoli prepared correctly. These are not just healthy foods. They are biological tools that activate your body's own ancient healing machinery. The collagen factory inside you never fully shuts down. It just needs the right raw materials and the right signals to start producing again, and it is never too late to give it those signals. Helen and Margaret and Dorothy are proof of that. Your independence, your mobility, your comfort in your own skin, these are worth fighting for. And the fight begins with what you put on your fork. If you are not yet subscribed to this channel, please do that right now by clicking the subscribe button below this video. Every week I bring you research-backed information like what you heard today, specifically designed for the unique physiology of adults over 60. And before you go, I want to leave you with one question for the comments. Which of these 5 vegetables are you most excited to try or try differently? Drop your answer below along with your age if you're comfortable sharing. I read every single comment and your response helps me create the content that serves you best.